Hello and welcome to episode 178, and for this video I've come back down to the local club where I've joined, Aspen Lake, and this is my third session on here now. I've got down here nice and early in the morning. I'll get down here nice and early, have me pick of the lake, and you know, lovely jubbly it would be. Oh no. I've turned up to practically a full house. All the back bank you can see of me shoulder where I would have preferred to be. More or less every swim taken apart from the corner one. There's a couple of guys to my left. There's a couple of empty swims to my right and another guy down there. So I've ended up in the swim I was in last time I was here. So I don't know what they actually call this swim, but I know you might sort of recognise it a bit from my second session on here. But as I said, literally just got here, so not fishing yet. All the kit's on the ground. I plan not to actually get fishing yet, bizarre as it sounds. I'm going to get all the kits up, bivvy up, get the rods all set up and everything, and then I need to think of this thing here. So once I'm all rigged up and ready to go, I'm actually going to pop down to the local village and go and get myself a breakfast, and then I'll be set for the day then. Right, till probably this afternoon when I'm actually fishing. Let's go fishing. And then a breakfast. Right, little update. Does this swim look familiar, guys? I've had a move already. When I got here there was a guy in this swim. Those of you who have seen my very first episode here, who saw me catch 2 fish out of this swim, walked past me as I was putting my bivvy up back there. He went, "Oh, I'm going now." So I've had a move already. I haven't even got fishing and I've had a move. So yeah, because I'm here for 3 days, I feel a lot more confident being in this swim than up that other end. Not much of a wind, but the gentle wind that is blowing down this way. But yeah, a lot happier in this swim. Right then, guys, so I've just been having a led around in this swim. Even though I've fished this swim the very first time I come here, I still wanted to have another led around just to make sure I was double positive about the spots I was fishing. So pretty much the spots I'm going to be fishing are more or less what I fished the first time I fished here in this swim. So you can see the rod's bottom of shot, but they're not actually fishing yet, they're just resting there until I get them ready. So, left hand rod is going to be on this, just off of these reeds here, probably about, not quite a full rod length out from the reeds, maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 foot. It was sort of about, the depth was kind of about 6 foot here, right close to the reeds. It came out a little bit deeper until I've sort of in line almost with the edge of these trees here. Sort of, you know, this kind of line here. So it's about 8 or 9 foot out from the reeds, and I got 9 foot there. If I come out another little bit, it went to about 10 foot. Only a couple more foot out, but I'm going to fish on that 9 foot deep spot. That's 14.5 reps. I think I was doing 15 reps actually last time I was in this swim, but when I was dragging the lead back this time, I was getting a real positive dunk 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 on a gravel bar at 14.5 reps. Middle rod, I've gone just a little bit further. See these 2 kind of little pointy trees in the distance? I'll basically, so I can use them as night markers if I need to. And I've gone 16 wraps on that one. Again, when I was leading around, everywhere felt soft out there, but at 16 wraps there was a nice little dunk 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 as the lead come over it felt like quite coarse gravel, to be fair, almost kind of not brick like, but you know, it was a real you know, it felt a heavy dunk bringing the lead back over it, and it was happened to be exactly 16 wraps. So that is middle rod, and then right hand rod again, same spot as where I caught my very first fish from when I first fished this lake, which is kind of aiming towards, where's me pointer, there we are. So I did kind of mark up from the island to see how far I had to come out from the island to get the bottom of the drop off, and it's pretty much a full rod length, maybe a full rod length and a little bit, to get the bottom of the drop off from this island. So it's not very clear on camera, but see this kind of slightly bigger tree just to the left of the house here? If I aim just to the left of that tree, that's me marker for me right hand rod. Again, that's the same range as the left hand rod, 14.5 wraps. So, and again, it's more or less the same spot where I caught from the first time here. I think last time I fished this swim, I fished all 3 rods at the same distance. So the middle rod this session is being pushed out just a little bit further. I did mark out a lot further on the middle rod, but it was just smooth, and I just pulled back until I felt a feature, which was a gravel patch. Again, like I said, it was at 16 wraps, so that would do. There's something there to fish to. That would do for me. Right, now I've waffled on about my spots, it's time to put some bait out. Right guys, so just going to have a little recap on my first 2 sessions here. Those of you that have been following my kind of, well, if you want to call it diary on this lake so far, if you saw my first session, you'll remember that I tried 3 different baiting strategies. One rod was on pellet, one rod was on boilie, and the other rod was on hemp and corn. That session, the first fish come over the pellet, the second fish come over the hemp and corn. My second visit to this fishery, I thought, well, the boilie didn't work the first session, so I went all out on the boilie, and that session produced absolutely nothing. So that's 2 sessions of fishing over boilie that I've done nothing. So I'm going to return to the strategy that caught me my first fish, or the first time I come here, and that's fishing over pellet. So I'm going to be doing this session all 3 rods just baiting up with pellet. So I've brought with me the same pellet which I used the first session, which is the Hinders Flats. If you've not seen these before, let me get a little handful. I don't know how well you can see that, but they're like an elliptical shaped pellet, so when they go in the water they don't just drop down to the bottom like a regular pellet does. They, because of the shape, they'll flutter down, and if they do land on a soft bottom, they're just going to land nice and soft. And I don't know what's in this pellet, but apparently there's something a bit special in these flats that makes them quite good. I'm not a bait expert, I don't know, but I just know apparently there's something in them a bit special. So I've got a 10 kilo bag with me this session. Before you start biting me head off in the comments, I'm not going to put 10 kilos in, it's just what I brought with me. Just Just in a bag, it's just easier to bring the whole lot rather than some. Right, anyway, I'm going to start putting some of this in now. I think I'll probably start maybe with a kilo per rod. Might sound a bit excessive, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to go with. Right, let's get that done. So that's it, guys. We are now fishing. So that rain only lasted about half an hour. Well, another half an hour sort of after I told you it was raining, I mean. So probably lasted about 45 minutes in all. And yeah, the dark cloud passed and the sun's out again. So it was just a random dark rain cloud that passed over. But as you've just seen, all 3 rods have just gone out for the first time this session. I'm pretty happy with where they all landed. They all landed pretty much where I wanted them first time. So yeah, that's it. Everything's in the hands of the fishy gods now. I've done my bit. Down to the fish now. Oh, little update. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, guys. And unfortunately, I've just lost one. Right hand rod, absolutely one-toning like you wouldn't believe. Got out there, picked up the rod, playing it for a while. It felt well hooked. Oh, it's pouring with rain as well. And yeah, I must have been playing it for about 10 minutes, I reckon, in the rain. It was a pretty good battle actually. I was taking some line back, the fish was taking some line. You know, I took some back, the fish took some more line, and then I just started to get on top of it. I was retrieving quite a bit of line, and then just everything went slack. just looks like it was just a plain and simple hook pull. Obviously checked the rig once, wound it back in. The hook point is fine, the rig's fine. The lead had been dumped, so the fish obviously was going some, because I've got my tail rubbers on my lead clip set so that I wouldn't say it would dump the lead every time, but it will dump the lead if it's a good run, and it dumped the lead. So hey ho. Alright, so it's just gone past 3 o'clock in the morning. Trying to get some sleep. Hopefully that wasn't my only chance. Oh, good morning guys. So that rod you just see me putting out was the third rod of my recast this morning. Had a walk around the lake this morning, mainly to go and use the conveniences on site, but on the way back I had a chat to all the other anglers that are on at the moment, and no one caught anything last night, so it looks like that run I had last night was the only run of the night. So unfortunately I lost it. Typical, I had to be in the rain and it happened. But yeah, all 3 rods back out for the day now. All on fresh hook baits. Hope today can be a little bit more productive. I might put out a bit more pellet later on with the old spod. It's a good thing about pellet, what doesn't get eaten sort of breaks down, dissolves, and just becomes a pile of smelly attraction. So when I'm baiting out with pellet I can feel confident. Even if I haven't had fish feeding over the spots, I can put more out there without ruining the chances of a bite. Like, right, just a waiting game now. Looks like a pike or something is chasing fry or something in the margins. So unless any fishy action happens, I won't be winding in now until this evening when I'm off to South Cerney, just up the road, to go and get myself some fish and chips. Looking forward to that. Right then guys, so it's middle of the afternoon now. Nothing's happened. It does seem like this place is more of an early, sort of an evening, nighttime and early morning water. I'm not really hearing of much that happens during the day, so during the daytime I think is the best time to get all your commotion done, like baiting up and all that kind of thing, which is what I'm about to do now. See, nothing's happened. Yeah, get the bait in now, and then your bait is kind of settled in then for the coming evening, night time. So I'm gonna have another play with the old Tasker spider spod. Saw me using it yesterday for the first time. It's not too bad, to be fair. It's I've worked out the best way to load it is by hand. Is if you have 3 of the sections shut and just 1 bit open, and then you can kind of hold that bit open with your thumb and kind of fill it by hand or with a scoop or whatever. Yeah, it seems so. It failed to open a couple of times, but It seems like if you don't fill it very much, that's the time it doesn't open. If you fill it up right up so it's nice and heavy, it seems to open every time, to be fair. Right, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to get the bait out. Right guys, so that's today's baiting up done. Obviously, as I've already said, I'm sticking with just a pellet this session, and I've put about the same amount in as I did today as I did yesterday, which is about 1 kilo of pellet per rod. So I'll say it worked last night. It did get me a run, albeit I've lost it. So a bit more bait can keep them in the area, hopefully, and get me another bite. Right guys, so you'll notice that my bank sticks are empty of rods, and that is because I'm about to go and get a fish. A cod, that is, from the local chip shop. Yeah, it's tea time, nothing's happened, so I've wound the rods in, and I'm going to drive into South Thurney and go and get myself some fish and chips again for me tea. So probably be good to rest to swim as well for a couple of hours, so go and get me fish and then fill me belly up, and then put the rods back out in about 2 hours time, I reckon. Hey guys, so that rod you just see me put out, that was the 3rd rod. So we are now fishing again. Now I've had me fish and chips, got a full belly. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with where all the rigs landed. They all pretty much landed on the spots first time. So yeah, let's hope I can get another run tonight, but this time without the hook pull. Well, good morning guys. Unfortunately, last night, the second night of my 3-dayer, was completely quiet. Absolutely nothing. Not even a bleep until 8 o'clock this morning, when the swans come round and were scavenging by me rod tips and give me a bleep by climbing over me rod tips. But yeah, not even a bleep last night. Not even the tench bothered me last night. Bob, the lake owner, he's just been round on his morning rounds, and he got to me last, so he said no one down that end has had anything either, so quiet night all round today. So this morning I'm not going to wind in and put fresh baits on just for the sake of having a fresh hook bait on. I know the hook baits I'm using are really buoyant and would be keeping me rigs popped up, so for the sake of not disturbing the swim, I'm gonna leave it today. I won't do a recast now until the call of nature forces me to do a wind in. So yeah, that's it really. Nothing else to update you with. Right. Hopefully I mean, it's getting up to the end of bite time. I've seemed to have worked out already. This water is definitely a kind of evening, night time, and early morning water. Not many bites seem to come in the daytime. The sun is starting to come up now, so I don't really hold out much hopes of a bite from this point onwards for the daytime. So, but while the rods are in the water, there's always a chance. Hi guys, I timed this a couple of seconds too late to start filming. Just as I was about to turn on the camera, a fish in these reeds here just sort of boshed twice. If I'd have turned the camera on a couple of seconds earlier, I would have just caught it. But anyway, right, it's midday now, and I'm just starting to get that urge to go and use the on-site facility, shall we say. So the time has come to wind the rods in a minute. So my plan is, when I get back, to stick with the same spots, I think. But now I've just seen that fish bosh out there, I'm wondering whether to put 2 rods on them margins now. Anyway, I'll think about that later on when I get back from the loo. Oh dear, southwesterly's blowing. Oh, and yeah, baiting wise, I think I'll top up me spots with just a little bit more bait. I don't think I'll put as much in as I have done the first day and the second day, because last night didn't even get a bleep whatsoever. So as I've already said, I'm only baiting with pellet. If it doesn't get eaten, it breaks down to nothing, and then the little fish will pick it away. So you know, I could put more pellet in if I wanted to, but I'll just try with the little bit approach today, I think. When I do put the rods back out, that'll be the only cast I'll do. I won't recast this evening just for the sake of putting on fresh hook baits. I know the baits will stay popped up for days with the ones I'm using, so I don't have to worry about the pop-ups losing their buoyancy. So yeah, for the sake of less disturbance, I'll get back from the loo and I'll get the recast, the baiting up done all in one hit, and then get all the disturbance in my swim done and out the way. Might, I think as well, have a little bit more chance of fish coming down this way tonight, because 7 anglers all to my right have all packed up this morning. So between me and the other end of the lake, 20 lines are now out of the water. So yeah, so if any fish are up that end, they've got more chance of coming this way now. But yeah, that's where we are moving forward. So I don't think many day bites happen on this lake at all, so yeah, pulling the rods out now, going to use the facilities and whatnot. now is as good a time as any to get it done. Right, I will see you when I'm back from the loo. Right then guys, I've made a bit of a executive decision what I'm going to do when I put the rods back out. Right hand rod is going to stay where it is because that's where I hooked a fish, albeit lost it on the first night. Middle rod area has had no bleeps, no real signs of fish. So basically, what was my middle rod, I'm going to abandon that spot out in open water. The spot at 14.5 wraps on my left hand rod, I'm going to stick with that spot. But moving forward, that is now going to become my middle rod spot. And as I showed you with the marker float, it is up against the reed somewhere just there. I can't really see on the screen, but I did just zoom in and show you roughly where it was. But there's been some fish moving around in amongst them reeds, so as you just saw, I've just put the marker float out just to see what the depth is there, and even that close in, I've still got 9 foot of water, which is exactly the same depth as I had further along where I'm fishing yellow rod up against the reeds. So yeah, that is going to be my new spot for the last night. So obviously that's now going to be my left hand rod. Yellow reed margin rod is going to now be my middle rod, and then I'll stick with a up against the island for my right hand rod. As I said before I went to the toilet, I'll only top up the areas that I've been fishing just with a little bit of bait just to top them spots up, and then the new spot I'll put about 1 kilo on that spot just to try and get it rocking. And then hopefully some of these fish that I've heard moving in amongst the reeds, I might be able to tempt them out. Right, that's the plan. Fingers crossed it'll work. Right then guys, well, the casts I'm about to do are potentially going to be the last casts I do of this session, unless any fish come along in the meantime. So before these rods go out, I'll show you the rigs I'm fishing. So we'll start at the non-business end. So got a flying back lead on my line just to keep the line pinned down. 18 inches of dark matter rig tubing. Got a little rubber bead just pushed on the end just to stop the back lead sliding down the rig tubing. Lead clip system, nothing revolutionary. And then on this rod I'm fishing a Ronnie Rig, but I'm fishing a kind of a different variation of the Ronnie Rig. So if you can see that, so I'm having a go using one of the Corda D-rig kickers, meant to be for obviously D-rigs, but if you've seen any of the Corda videos you might have seen kind of Danny Fairbrass doing it this way, so I thought I'd give it a go myself for this session. And well, yeah, I did hook a fish doing it this way. He was on for about 10 minutes, then unfortunately lost him to a hook pull. I'm not going to blame the rig or because it's something new I'm trying. I'll just put it down to one of them things that happens sometimes. You know, I'm a normal IQ2 and 20 pound I use for my boom section, and the hook baits are the new ones from Hinders that I was using last time I was here. They've now got a name, which are called Exo Carp. Really buoyant. 2.5 ounce square pair lead, and that is it. I mean, the first night I did hook a tench on this rig, so I know the rig works, so I'm not going to start beating myself up about the rig just because it lost the one and only carp I've hooked so far this session. Yeah, just thought I'd have a play with a kind of, you know, a variant of the Ronnie Rig like. But anyway, so that's how I'm fishing this session. Right, let's get the rod out in the water now then. So that is that then guys. As I said before when I was showing you the rig, unless any fishy action happens from now onwards, that is going to be the last cast of this session. It's 3:30 now, so a few hours have passed now since the rods were wound in. So yeah, it took me that long to go and use the loo and chat to a few other people on the lake and do all the marker work for that new spot and put the bait in, rebait, and just generally have a bit of a rest myself. So yeah, that's it. We're fishing one new spot for the last night. So there's one other guy who's turned up this morning as well on the other side of the lake, who's a tench angler, but everyone else who was on the lake has gone home, so there's only going to be two of us from the looks of it on the lake tonight. So that's it then. Right then guys, I'll leave it there, and hopefully the next time you see me it'll be like that. Doesn't feel very heavy guys. Got a feeling this is one of the lake's resident tench. There's hardly any weight there at all. Yeah, I've seen it. It's a tench. And guys, I just thought I'd show you this tench. I just weighed him because he was about the same size as the tench I caught the first night. There we go. £6 4 ounces. So this is actually a PB. And to be fair, the tench I caught 2 nights ago I think was a little bit bigger than this, but I didn't even weigh him, I just let him go. So as far as I'm concerned, any session where you get a new PB is a good one. Well, I think this is kind of the average stamp of tension here. I do believe they go up to sort of just under double figures. But hey ho, a fish is a fish. This is my second one now, so just goes to show that even though I've lost a carp, the rigs do work, because this was absolutely nailed. That Danny Fairbrass style of Ronnie Rig, they do work. For a barbless hook, it was never coming off. He was absolutely nailed. Right, let's get him back, get the rod back out and try and catch a carp. Oh, that'd be typical. Now I've moved my rod from dead centre straight down the middle. There's a big flat spot out there now. So something is obviously having a bit of a munch up on that middle area I was fishing, and causing all the oils off them pellets to come up and make that flat spot. That is where I was fishing. Ah, that's typical, eh? Another tench I feel, guys. knows where to go, though. He's making a dash for the reed. Yeah, tench number 3 of the session, guys. I'm not going to get him out of the water. I'll just hook him in the margins in a minute and let him go again, so I can get the rod straight back out and back on the spot. This feels a bit more like it, guys. Go around the corner, then the fish was going around to the right, so I had to go around and pull him from a different angle. Oh no, don't pick up the other line. Don't you dare. Wow. After all that, guys, it's not a carp, it's another tench, but foul hooked. Try and unhook him without the net so I can let him go straight away because he's hooked in the pectoral fin. Good morning, guys, and another bright, beautiful morning, but unfortunately not on the carp fishing side of it. Nothing happened in the night. After that last tench, the foul hooked one, nothing happened after that. Well, I'll tell a lie. I had a couple of liners, if you count that as action, so there were definitely fish of some sort moving around the spots because they were giving me the signs that they were about. But I was properly woken up this morning again by the swans, bloody grubbing around by my rod tips looking for food, and bit of my lines again. Yeah, that's it. 3 nights, 1 lost carp, 3 proper hook tench, 1 foul hook tench. I mean, some people might call that a blank, some people might say you've caught just not your intended species. Call it what you like. I haven't caught a carp yet this session. I'm going to fish for a few more hours yet. So what I'll do after this little bit where I've just speaking to you, I'll wind the rods in, put a fresh hook bait on each of the rods just for the last few hours. I'm tempted to put the other rods back down the middle again because yesterday, after I changed the spot to this inside margin here, there was a flat spot out down the middle for absolutely ages. So definitely something was out in the middle having a munch on all that pellet that I put out there. Perhaps they started munching there because the rod had been moved out of the way and there was no lines in that area of the lake. Who knows? That's the dilemma. Do I put the rod back out on that spot or put it back down here on the inside margin where I've seen fish boshing them in the reeds? Could almost do with a 4th rod. Right. Anyway, what I'll also do is my last video I've done a competition. I don't know who the winner is yet because I'll pick a winner when I'm editing this session I'm on now. All I do know is at this point in time there are a few people that have got the right answer, which was 17 pounds 8 ounces. So yeah, there are a few people that have got the right answer, so what I'm going to have to do is all the people that have got the right answer of 17.5 pound, I'm going to have to put their names into a hat and pick a name out of the hat for the winner of Tasker Spider Spod and that affordable angling tackle box. So I don't know who the winner is yet, but I'll put the name of the winner here now when I do the editing. So whoever you are, well done you. Right, anyway, like I said, I'm going to put some fresh hook baits on these rods. So I know they're going to still be popped up because them pop-ups are really poppy-uppy. But it's just putting freshness out there for the last few hours, that's all really. Right, let's crack on with that and fingers crossed for the last few hours. Oh, warm southwesterly's blowing again. Hi guys, so that's the rods out for the last few hours of fishing. It'll probably be a couple more hours than what I thought I had, because it's bank holiday Monday today. The plan was to sort of pack up around lunchtime, so I had to basically do some shopping for me packed lunch and for working at tomorrow morning, but as it goes, my shopping at home has already been done for me, so that has given me basically a few extra hours of fishing time. So basically the rods have just gone back out now. I've gone back out onto my 3 original spots, so 14.5 wraps beside the spit, 16 wraps straight down the middle, and 14.5 wraps to the left hand margin. After I saw the fish, well, didn't see the fish, but saw the flat spot they were creating straight down the middle last night after I changed spots. The fish had obviously been munching there, so I've put the rod back onto that middle spot. I'm not going to put any more bait out today. Like I say, I've only got a few hours of fishing left, so I'm not going to put any more bait out. I'm just going to fish the rods just as kind of singles today. So I think the bait I've put out over the last 3 nights is ample. Right. Oh, I've got a swan coming past me rods. Thanks, swan. Right. I'm going to go and chase this swan away. Hopefully I'll see her later on while there's still chance of a fish yet. Right then guys, so I've now finished my session. Everything's wound in, packed up on the floor just behind the camera. So, 3rd session here, still learning the lake. Like I say, if you've been following my adventures on this lake, you'll have seen that on the 1st session here, I basically caught over pellet on one rod and hemp and corn on the other rod. So this session was just all out on the pellet to see if I could recreate that baiting scenario, to see if it will still work. I would say yes, because alright, although I lost the fish, I did hook a fish over, fishing over pellet. The tench certainly seemed to like the pellet I was baiting it with anyway. So in my kind of quest to learn about the lake, I would say it's a success, because I've learnt that yes, you can catch over pellet. Next time, whenever I can get on, I'm going to recreate the scenario of the second fish I caught on that 1st session, of just fishing over hemp and corn or hemp and maize. So I don't think I've got the time to come back for about another 4 weeks yet. So when I do come back, that's going to be my baiting strategy for that session. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I hooked one, I lost it. If you count tench, yeah, I've caught. If you don't, I've blanked. Well, hey ho, it's good to be back and basically just improve my knowledge about, kind of learning this lake. So, anyway, right, the skies are slightly turning dark, and I think we're about to get some rain, so I need to scoot round, go and get me van, and get everything in there in case it does start raining. Next session, I don't think I can get out for a few weeks now. I think the next session is going to be the big social at Bluebell Lakes with all the lads, Simon, Lee, Mafty, UK, and his mate Dave and Andy. So, till then, tight lines, and I'll probably see you at Bluebell.